Back in 2019, I started my first year of university. At that time, I was living alone, having just moved to a new country in which I knew nobody. Safe to say I was depressed, anxious, and a bunch of other worse stuff, but the things that kept me in check at the time were movies, YouTube, and video games. I was a huge film fan at the time. I'd go almost weekly to small screenings of obscure classics, and I would play video games quite a lot to take the edge off. Then after that, I'd go under my blanket, watch YouTube, and watch a bunch of people talk about the media that I had just consumed. I would watch people like Jacob Geller, Every Frame a Painting, Video Game Donkey, Lessons from Screenplay, The Cinema Cartography, etc, etc. Just channels that make video essays or short videos discussing a specific film or video games or some other related topic. At that same time, I was starting my computer science degree and had been taking a look at an elective course to take for my first semester, and there it was. A course called Introduction to Film Studies. And so I took that course. During the course, that ended up being a year-long course, I had to write an essay about video essays for one of my assignments. The whole class was split into groups, and it worked as follows. Each group consisted of 4 people and had to be divided into smaller groups of 2. Each 2 people would have 2 video essays assigned to them that they'd have to discuss and link to each other in an essay. Then the larger group would take 2 essays and merge them together into a larger, cohesive essay linking the 4 video essays together. I don't remember the video essays I was assigned at the time, but I remember really liking that assignment. And that sort of stayed in the back of my head for a while until our final class assignment. And that one was a lot more straightforward. There is a list of around 40 topics to choose from. These topics cover films and material that has been discussed throughout the year-long course. Every student simply had to choose one, so I did. I wrote a paper and got a B+ for what's the worst possible paper ever that I could write in terms of structure and grammar and other things, but this paper was invaluable to me and is the reason why I made this YouTube channel in the first place. It was in fact the first video essay that I ever put out on this channel. But what had seemed like a healthy obsession at first, right now is making my life miserable. When I started making YouTube videos 4 years later, I started with that one video. I thought to myself that I had the script already, so I might as well pick up any editing software and get a cheap microphone to make that thing happen. I still had the Google Docs, so I got to reading it. I changed some things around, I got to a format where I can read it at least, and just started reading into the microphone. I then downloaded the free software of DaVinci Resolve, that was the editing software I used. I then got the movie and started working, just editing it through. I didn't and I still don't know what I was/is doing editing wise, but I thought to myself, hey, at least it's a first step. After I was done and I put out the video on July 18th, 2023, and surprisingly the video did not do badly at all. It had 295 views in a year, so I thought it would be around like 20 views or so. I then put out another video talking about the game engine Unity and basically just ranting about how much I hated its monetization practices, and there it was. In 7 months it only got 14 views, so what was I doing wrong? In July of 2024, so a year later, I decided that I would take this YouTube more seriously. I re-edited my first video, privated the first 2 videos and released it. And then it did super well. It got over 1,000 views in 1 week, and that was essentially the beginning of the very toxic relationship with YouTube content creation. And I'm calling it that as a previous League of Legends player, so you can probably imagine. I would drop a video, monitor it almost hourly for like a week, and then most of the time, except for like 2 videos, I would just be disappointed. I would freak out a lot, change the title every week, change the thumbnail, try to trim the parts I don't like in the YouTube editor, etc. And I would obsess over every metric. In fact, I might just be doing that right now while you're watching this video. I got stuck in a vicious cycle: find an idea, write about it, record, edit, release, obsess, find, write, record, edit, release, obsess. And then it became find, obsess, write, obsess, record, obsess, edit, obsess, release, obsess, and but I actually kinda lied. It wasn't just watching video essays and that film class that made me want to do YouTube. This justification is much worse, and that is the promise of making money. Well, right now I'm not financially well off. I graduated university a couple of years ago. I had a decent job as a game developer that I now have been laid off from. The housing market is the worst it has ever been. I practically will never own a home. I was living paycheck to paycheck anyways. I have been rejected when I asked for a raise, and at the same time I was too scared to leave this job since the gaming industry is messed up right now. All of the layoffs and corporate greed is eating away at people less experienced, making everyone basically hire seniors only. And if intermediates get hired, usually they'd be the first to be let go in cases of layoffs. I just felt and still feel stuck, and that in this economy gave me an excuse, a justification if you will, to get involved with doing YouTube. And I feel like that is the most devious justification of all. I have no fan base, I have no brand to promote, I have nothing. I'm just a dude who wants to make a little bit of side money while doing his hobby, because under a capitalist system you can't have fun unless you can afford to have fun. I would also be quote-unquote investing my time in getting skills that would benefit me to achieve my ultimate dream of being a solo game developer. And it has been a year since I started, and where has that led me now? I released 10 long-form videos before this one, possibly more right now, improving something each and every video. Then my last video comes through and it doesn't get pushed at all by YouTube whatsoever. YouTubers and YouTube sell you the dream of financial gain while having fun, but is that actually true? Is YouTube really about fun, and most importantly, as the platform name suggests, you? Is YouTube about you? Well, no. YouTube is about businesses masquerading as people. When watching YouTube, you are rarely watching an individual talking about what they think about something or what they are doing anymore. A YouTube channel is a business and has to be run as such. Long gone are the days of videos made using a grainy webcam of some person speaking their mind. Right now you need to have a pipeline. While the pipeline back then was opening the camera, speaking into it, and editing out the bad takes, or sometimes not, today it has become more sophisticated than that. For example, a recent YouTube video made by an Arab YouTuber who made it on YouTube about 2 years ago states, you need to hire people to do stuff that you don't want to do, or stuff that you are worst at. If you are bad at editing, hire an editor to essentially cut your work in half and produce more videos faster. So instead of you having the cycle of writing, editing, and uploading, you would only have to write, and while that video is being edited, you can start writing the next one. And the same logic extends further into hiring writers and voice actors and everything, and it evolves from being a you channel to a business. You now have people writing, people narrating, people producing, people editing, people managing, and that is essentially the way right now on here. Even if you have endless creativity and will always have something to write and talk about, your output is still competing with entire companies that can do everything 10 times better and 10 times faster. And since we have established that a YouTube channel is a business, it needs capital to start with. How are you going to compete with the companies that get all of the attention if you have nothing to start with? Their stuff is already funded, they are already making their money, and you're essentially left there being sold the dream, being told that you can get bigger. You just have to get better with every video. Is your click-through rate too low? That means you need a better thumbnail and title. Oh, you don't have the money to hire a thumbnail artist like everyone else? Too bad, I guess. You need to learn Photoshop now. Is your viewer retention low? Just cut every 3 seconds and get cool effects, or hire an editor if you're so bad at editing. Oh, you have a cool idea. Well, too bad, you won't be able to realize it to its fullest because you don't have any money to get the resources to level the playing field. And this goes on and on and on for every aspect of video creation process. It's just an empty, endless spiral where you go through the same thing over and over again, like a dog chasing a stick attached to him and dangled in front of him. The faster it runs, the stick is just right in front of him yet out of reach. And in this silly metaphor, if the dog is the wannabe YouTuber and the stick is success, the rope holding that stick is the YouTube Studio app. The YouTube Studio app is designed in every way that can maximize your engagement with the platform as a creator. It makes sure to show you the most recent comments, and that area cannot get removed unless you either reply or heart every comment you have. The rating area in the homepage that shows you how good your video is doing compared to your 10 most recent videos. It's there to remind you that you did worse or better, either way emotionally impacting you to do the best you can in comparison to your most recent videos. It is quite cursed, to be honest. The analytics on every video that show you the click-through rate and retention and the subscribers gained and everything else that you can track about the video. It's just packed with data and little things that make you not want to even quit making videos, to be honest. And to always strive to make your videos better through pressure that your last videos did better than this video, so you did not get better, in fact you got worse, or so is implied. Even if you have started YouTube only for fun, you get to a certain point where you obsess over everything you make, and it is just very mentally taxing. I have lots of things that I would love to talk about, but obsessing over whether the video would do well or not, is that topic popular enough? Would I be able to be creative enough with it? Would I stand out? Is the thumbnail good? Is the title good? For example, I have been frozen in place for 2 weeks now, since I dropped my last video until the time of writing this one because I have been too frustrated. I really want to talk about this very special game, Indica. I want to talk about the philosophy of religion in the game and my POV as a Muslim interested in video games and philosophy of religion in general. But who the fuck would watch that? This horrible video you're watching right now is a result of a very lonely and depressing night of sleeplessness and thinking about what I'm going to do with my life right now and whether I will be able one day to achieve sustainability enough that I can just breathe a sigh of relief. Not sure if I can continue doing this despite liking it a lot. I just want to make videos that I want to make without feeling like I'm forced to improve, without the constant feeling that I have to gain something from this. But regardless, I will try to continue, at least for this year. I promised myself at the beginning of 2025 that I would be monetized by the end of the year, and despite improving quite a lot, this has not and will not happen. I just feel disappointed in myself because I see people making it on here, getting their career started every day. But I know that probably won't be me, so I want to at least have fun doing it. Hopefully I will be able to get there. So I just want to add some closing remarks regarding the video. Since I wrote this video, I had some things done on the channel. I added 2 more videos which did not perform that much better than the one I was talking about, which is the horrifying war games that make you the victim video. And I just want to clarify something. It's not that I do not want to get better, it's that I want to get better, but I want to get better on my own terms. I don't want to get better because I'm being forced to get better in order to outcompete other channels, or in order to just have a better chance of making it on YouTube. I want to get better for myself because I want to just hone my craft, if I can call it a craft at this stage. And actually, when I first wrote this video, I was still not laid off from my job. I still had my job, and it's very disturbing to come back and record this video and have to re-edit the script in order to amend it to having lost my job. It's like I had been predicting it, I guess, because originally I just said that I'm happy to have my job, blah blah blah, but I might be laid off, and all of the fears of being laid off, and now I am laid off and I'm burnt out. I've been thinking of working on my own personal project regarding a video game, and I have not been able to do that. I've just been trying, and it has not been working. I tried to play more video games in order to talk about them. I tried to talk about the video games that I have already played, and it hasn't worked either way. It's just incredibly devastating, to be honest. I feel burnt out. I feel just a very, very horrible creative block. And all I can hope for, I guess, is to just push through this tough time. Probably try to take a vacation or something, but that is not even possible right now because of the reasons discussed in the video previously. So if you made it this far, thank you for watching. Thanks a lot. I truly appreciate it. And yeah, subscribe, do the other stuff, and have a good time of day. Insert your time of day right here.